Have you ever noticed how some places seem to hold memories? Like they've absorbed all the laughter, the tears, the silent promises shared within their space? In the quiet heart of a city park, there's a bench like that. A simple wooden bench by a lake. But for one man, it was the center of his universe. This is the story of that bench, and of a love that time itself couldn't forget. Our story begins at sunrise. The first golden rays of light spill over the horizon, painting the sky in soft pastels. The park is still holding its breath in the morning calm. An elderly man, Mr. Harris, walks with a slow, deliberate pace. His face is a road map of a life fully lived, etched with lines of joy and sorrow. He moves with a familiar grace, his path worn into the earth from countless identical mornings. The morning sun touches his wrinkled face, and for a moment he seems to be absorbing its warmth, its life. He reaches his destination, the bench by the water. He sits, his posture familiar, comfortable. The air is still, the world around him a soft focus painting of dew-kissed grass and sleeping trees. He isn't waiting for anyone, he is simply being. This bench isn't just a place to rest. It's a sanctuary, a ritual, a silent conversation with someone who is no longer there. His gaze is fixed on the water, but what he sees is not the gentle ripples of the lake, but the endless ocean of his memories. The light shifts, and we're pulled back in time. It's the same bench, but the world is brighter, sharper. Decades have melted away. Much younger Harris sits here, his smile easy and full of life. Beside him sits his wife, Mary. Her laughter is like music, echoing softly as they sip coffee from steaming mugs. The morning light is a warm, golden embrace, filtering through the leaves and dancing on their faces. They aren't talking about grand plans or life-altering decisions. They're talking about the small, beautiful things, the shape of a cloud that looks like a sailboat, the melody of a bird's song, the simple, profound joy of being together. He reaches for her hand, their fingers intertwining naturally, a gesture as familiar as breathing. In this moment, time feels infinite. It stretches and bends around them, a perfect, unbroken circle of shared moments. But as the scene dissolves, their faint laughter echoes and fades. Like a distant memory carried on the wind, leaving behind only the sound of silence and the lone figure of Mr. Harris on the bench in the present. Years pass. The vibrant green of summer gives way to the fiery colors of autumn. The leaves fall like silent golden tears, blanketing the park in a soft carpet of rust and crimson. Mr. Harris is still there. On his bench, a constant figure in a changing world. A young woman, Clara, a photographer with an eye for quiet beauty, wanders through the park. She sees things others miss: the poetry in a fallen leaf, the story in a stranger's gaze. She notices Mr. Harris, a solitary statue against the backdrop of the dying season. There's a profound stillness about him that draws her in. She hesitates, not wanting to intrude on his private world, but her artist's curiosity wins. She approaches cautiously. "Excuse me?" she asks, her voice soft. "May I take your picture?" Mr. Harris looks up, his eyes seeming to see not just her, but through her, into a past she can't imagine. A slow, gentle smile touches his lips. He simply nods. The camera shutter clicks. A tiny, crisp sound in the quiet air, capturing not just an image, but the meeting of two souls from different generations, connected by a moment of silent understanding. That single photograph was the beginning of a quiet friendship. Over the following days, Clara found herself returning to the park, drawn by the old man's serene presence. They would sit together on the bench, sometimes in comfortable silence, other times sharing stories. She learned about Mary, about their life, their dreams, and the unwavering promise he made to meet her here every single morning. He spoke of her not as someone lost, but as someone who was simply in a different room. Clara listened, her camera occasionally capturing the gentle moments between them, his gnarled hands resting on the bench. The faraway look in his eyes as he spoke of his wife, the way the light played on the water. One day, as they watched the swans glide across the lake, he said something that would stay with her forever. "Love doesn't disappear," he said softly, his voice raspy with age and emotion. "It just changes form. It becomes a memory, a feeling, a promise you keep." In that moment, Clara understood. This bench wasn't a monument to grief. It was a testament to a love that had transcended time and space. One morning, the inevitable came. The park was shrouded in a soft, ethereal fog. The bench was empty. Its weathered wood seemed to carry a new weight, a profound silence. As the sun's gentle rays pierced through the mist, they illuminated a small, newly placed brass plaque on the backrest. The inscription was simple. It had held a lifetime of devotion, in loving memory of Mary and Harris, who kept their promise, even beyond time. Later that morning, Clara appeared. She walked to the bench, her steps heavy. She ran her fingers over the cool metal of the plaque, her eyes filling with tears. She didn't cry from sadness, but from a deep, overwhelming sense of beauty and peace. He had kept his promise. They were together again. She sat on the bench, not feeling his absence, but his presence, and Mary's too. In the gentle ripples, on the water and the quiet hum of the park, waking up to a new day. Years later, in a brightly lit art gallery, a crowd gathers. People stop and stare at a large framed photograph hanging on the wall. It's a picture of an empty bench by a lake, bathed in the soft light of a foggy sunrise. It's Clara's photograph. It's the one she took that final morning. It captures the stillness, the serenity, the feeling of a promise fulfilled. As people gaze at the image, a voiceover fills the space, echoing the wisdom Mr. Harris shared with Clara. Because love never leaves, it says. It just finds new ways to stay in a memory, a photograph, or a bench that remembers. The image of the bench by the lake returns one last time, the sun rising majestically behind it. The scene holds a final, beautiful portrait of a place made sacred by love. It reminds us all that the most powerful legacies are not written in stone, but are carried in the heart, and that love, in its purest form, never truly says goodbye. Thank you for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories that explore the beauty of the human spirit. We'll see you next time.